Happy Friday mga Katribu! Welcome to another episode of Kalingang Katribu Legal Diaries. I am Venice Bautista and we are joined today by Aranas Cruz Araneta Parker and Faustino Law Office's Associate Lawyer, Attorney Julo R. Taleon. Welcome, Attorney!
Hi, Miss Venice. Good afternoon. Good afternoon po to everyone.
How are you today?
Okay lang. And by the way, hindi yan Julo. It's Jolo. Although the spelling is you, the pronunciation is...
I see. Sorry.
Walang problema.
How is your Friday po? Malapit na magtapos ang office hours.
Okay naman. So far, same old, same old.
Alright po. Okay, now we will be talking about maternity leave in this episode. So, for the first question natin, what is RA number 11210 or otherwise known as Expanded Maternity Leave?
Basically, it's a law expanding. From the word itself, it expands the benefit of any woman, ng isang babaeng nanganak. So, from noon kasi yung law was from the old law, which is 60 to 72 days, depende sa panganganak. Ngayon, it expanded it. The law makes it 120 days.
Oh, okay. So syempre, I like this idea and I'm all for it. But I just want to know the background po, like bakit nagkaroon ng law na ganito? Bakit na-extend natin?
Sorry, it's 105 days pala, sorry.
Okay.
It was extended because of the fact na hindi madaling manganak. For any woman who has experience ng panganganak, you know, the trauma, especially for first-time mothers out there, hindi madali eh. That's why there is a need to extend it. Kasi yung 60-day period is too short. Kasi once na manganak ka, you still have to care for the child. Diba?
Yes.
You still have to look after the child. And that's what the government thought. That this was during the time of Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. That's what they thought na 60 days is too short. Why make it 105 days? And now there is also an option to have it extended to 15 days. And this is only for solo mothers. Now, may bayad. But kung walang bayad, it can be extended for another 30 days.
Okay. So, is this for any kind of childbirth or like merong po bang pinagkakaiba yung benefits sa normal delivery or sa CS po?
Noon, meron. Kasi 60-72 days doon eh. During that time, normal delivery 60 days, kung may cesarean, 72 days. Now, there's no separation at all because it is considered any type ng panganganak is same pa din eh. Same pa din. It's panganganak. What the lawmakers were after was the mother to have longer time with her newborn son or daughter.
I see. Okay. So, it's more of the connection yung sa first few months nga. Okay. So, what are the benefits po for those who suffered miscarriage or emergency termination of pregnancy?
Yung miscarriage, which is, if I'm not mistaken, miscarriage is considered when the child is born before the 20th week of gestation. Means premature pa yung bata. In this case, yung benefit was a female employee who experienced that kind or yung delivered stillbirth can still avail of maternity leave. And she is entitled to 60 days of maternity leave with pay po dito. Dito puro po ito may bayad.
Opo. Okay, so how about like for someone who delivered stillbirth? Can they still avail the maternity leave or hindi po ba? For how long? Tas what are the benefits entitled to them?
For normal delivery, for live childbirth, it covers 105 days of maternity leave with full pay. An additional, under the law also, it states na an additional 15 days will be provided for solo parents as defined under the RA 8972. And also an option to extend for 30 days without pay.
What about po for mga stillbirth, yung mga
Mga premature,
oh,
parang gano'n. Mga 60 days siya.
I
60
see.
days yung entitled nila na maternity leave.
Taxable po ba ito?
Unfortunately, since it is paid, since it is still considered as you're working during that time, but you are considered as working. So you're receiving salaries. Hence, it is just logical that it remains to be taxable.
I see, I see. So can female government employees po claim maternity leave from other institutions like SSS or the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation?
Yes, generally they can. And I suggest that they must. Kasi female government, especially yung sa government employees natin, can claim these benefits from SSS and PhilHealth, provided, however, that members sila who met the contribution requirements of this institution. For example, the SSS, under the SSS, it grants maternity leave benefits for self-employed or voluntary members who have remitted at least 3 monthly contributions in that 12-month period immediately preceding the semester kung kailan siya nanganak or nag-miscarriage or yung emergency termination of pregnancy. Kung sa PhilHealth naman, kung titingnan natin, the PhilHealth grants benefits like maternity care package for members who have paid at least 9 months of premium contribution. And it must be within the 12 months prior to the first day of availment or confinement, including na po dito yung confinement month.
So, okay din yung mga benefits, no? Talagang, I mean, given naman po kung kahirap, yeah. So, going back dun sa full pay po, like, what does it consist of, yung pinaka-pay natin?
Kung anong nare-receive mo yung monthly or weekly or daily basis, yun yung marireceive mo for the entire duration.
Okay.
So, parang it's as if nanganak ka, but yet you're still receiving salary.
Yeah, it's like a really long paid leave.
Yeah, precisely.
So, attorney, if the child naman po dies shortly after the delivery, no, is the female employee entitled to avail pa rin maternity leave?
Depends kasi kung child siya, yung before, yung intrauterine stage siya, which is parang fetus pa lang siya, then both situations, like the intrauterine stage and at the same time yung normal stage, he can still avail this 60 days for the intrauterine life cycle and yung 105 days for the normal delivery.
So, kapag ano po ba, what if naman yung mother na yung na-incapacitate or namatay? Unfortunately, not that there are cases like that. Is there a need to return the maternity leave benefits that she received?
Hindi na kailangan. Because there is no need na to return the maternity leave benefits received because under the law, the balance of the maternity leave benefits of a female employee who died or became permanently incapacitated shall accrue or mapupunta sa ama ng anak or kung walang ama yung anak niya or biglang nawala. Then in his absence or incapacity to an alternate caregiver, yung nag-aalaga sa bata.
So attorney, like, diba, I mean, we have come so far when it comes to pushing for gender equality, diba? Pero sometimes there are still employers out there na meron pa ding discrimination when it comes to hiring women, diba? Because of these things, maternity leaves, ganyan. So what is your opinion on that law po? Like, just curious.
Under the labor law naman, it is generally prohibited to have those kind of requirements na hindi kailangan mabuntis, parang ganon, except to a number of industries. For example, na required talaga, and with the consent of the person, required siya na na required siya for a certain period na hindi pwedeng mabuntis. For example, I think usually yung ginagawa was there's a contract naman. Although generally this contract is prohibited naman kasi, but if it's an independent person, like kung artista ka or you talent agency, like a model ka, so you are required, or not necessarily, you are required to have that figure kumbaga. So there is for them, if it is agreeable to both parties na hindi talent ka, so you're not hindi ka required na mabuntis when this certain period, then generally those are considered pwede. But kung ordinary worker, and then sasabihin na hindi ka kasi babae ka, may possibility na mabubuntis, it will disrupt yung usual sinasabi, usual the operations of the company. Hindi po yan pwede. And it is punishable under the law din, yung discrimination as to the women na because of that kind of justification.
I see. That's great to hear. And ang tawag dito, pag self-extend naman po yung maternity leave, meron po bang sanctions yung sa mga benefit?
Generally, kung mag-i-extend and it is for a valid cause, yung allowed to have it extended but na may bayad is yung kung mapuprove mo na solo parent ka. So that is allowed. But kung hindi ka naman solo parent and you want it to have extended, then that will no longer be considered as paid leave, but kukunin yung extended time after the 105 days from it will be charged to the sick leave credits, vacation leave credits, and other benefits na other days. For example, may sick leave, vacation leave, other leaves, just para hindi maapektuhan yung sweldo but yung salary ng employee. But if it's no longer, if ubos na, then it can no longer be payable.
I see. So ano po ba yun? Yung extension na po na ito, valid lang talaga siya kapag solo parent ka, or meron pa pong pwedeng ibang exceptions to have this extended?
Kung solo parent ka, 15 days, paid siya. But it can be extended naman. Generally, there's no one stopping you from extending it. It's just that you can no longer receive yung benefit, which is yung sahod mo na ma-receive.
I see. Okay, thanks, attorney. We'll take a short break and we will talk more, mga katribu, about the expanded maternity leave, which is a great impact on all women.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris, masaya? Pagsama-sama!
Bong, yung naumpisahan ko, tapusin mo. Mga bagong highway, tulay, tren, dapat ma-enjoy na kaagad ng mga tao yan. Kailangan lahat bakunado at laging may ayuda pag kailangan. Huwag dapat magkabalik ang mga drug lords para ligtas ang pamilya. Yung ginawa mong malasakit centers, maganda yan. Padamihin mo pa. Magkasama tayo. Tayo ang nagsimula, tuloy-tuloy lang. Bong.
Magandang araw mga katribu! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelovelo, Compi Manalo, Atty. Lia Badillo Crisostomo, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Jerk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas na ang mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Simulan natin ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments ng aming programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at TribuneNow sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings, mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magkita-kita po tayo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga at magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Chris Masaya, pagsama-sama.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Welcome back, mga Katribu. We're here in Kalingang Katribu Legal Diaries with Attorney Taleon, and we were talking about the Expanded Maternity Leave and its benefits to women on this day and age. So, Attorney, balikan na natin yung question natin, no? When is the application po ba for the maternity leave required to be filed?
Generally, yung application mismo must be kasi pwede yung government, or we must still I must inform you that yung maternity leave is applicable to both government employees and private employees.
Okay.
So iba-iba yung process nila dito.
I see.
With regard to your question, yung application, kung paano mag-a-apply yung isang empleyado, the government or private, there is a requirement for private employees to inform their employer at that 30 days, if I'm not mistaken, 30 days before siya manganak.
Okay.
So application must be filed generally soonest time possible, preferably 30 days before yung expected delivery date niya. Okay? Although in emergency cases, the application for maternity leave may be filed immediately after ng mga anak, kasi kung emergency na talaga. But kung yun yung prefer nila, there must be notice 30 days before the expected delivery date.
Okay po. Tapos, what if their employer still, alam mo, may mga pahabol na work to do. Like, can you check on this? Konting ano lang. Can they ignore them? Is that allowed?
Generally, it is allowed. It is allowed to ignore them, but yun nga lang, kasi yung law mismo nagbigay ng karapatan sa kanila to have that 105 days leave para tutukan yung anak nila. Kasi kakasilang lang nila, di ba? And those time that is being shared. Kasi yung pinaka-importanting point of life of any child would be during his childbirth, and yun yung critical days yung first days ng panganganak. So it must be the employer must understand na yung focus muna is yung anak. Okay. Although he can say na pwedeng trabahuin mo to, but that employee, maski hindi niya gagawin yung trabaho, she can still receive the salary that she is receiving because of this expanded maternity leave.
I see. So, meron po bang expiration yung pag-file nito?
Generally wala.
Wala naman.
Maybe expiration kasi under the law mismo, yung usual practice is yung 30 days before ka manganak. And if hindi ka nag-file, okay lang yun. Kasi kung file ka kaagad, that is the most important thing eh. Once na manganak ka, sabihan mo yung asawa mo, yung husband mo, or yung kakilala mo na i-inform and mag-file agad ng leave. Kasi automatic yung leave eh. It is automatic from your childbirth, from the time na nanganak ka, up to the 105 days na allowed sa'yo under the law.
Okay. Paano naman po kung nag-file after a year na? Or like, basta like, late na?
Late na siya. So, kasi parang in a way benefit to eh. Benefit ng empleyado mismo. Hindi to marireserve. For example, nanganak ka ngayon, tapos nagtrabaho ka pagkabukas, hindi mo muna gamitin kasi next year mo na lang gagamitin. Hindi po yan allowed kasi yung logic or yung logic behind the law was for the mother to take care of her child as soon as it is born. Form connection, parang ganon. So it will parang mawawala ng saysay yung pag-extend mismo kung i-reserve mo pa at igagamitin mo pa for next year.
Okay, totoo naman. So going back din po dun sa question ko kanina about yung sa pag-file nga po, what if yun nga pinagtrabaho pa rin kahit konti? Can the women report the employer for
generally yung first muna is diplomatic muna tayo. Kasi kung pinatrabaho siya and she refused, she has the right to refuse. Yun lang. Pag pinilit siya, yun na yung pwedeng ireklamo.
I see.
Kasi you cannot force the person to work. Especially if she is still in her maternity leave.
Okay. Ayan. Ayan mga fellow women, you know now what to do. Okay, so next question. When does a female employee qualify for maternity leave with full pay? The moment they give birth?
Yeah. No. They qualify the moment na trabahante sila. They're employees. And during that time, for example, bukas, manganganak na sila. Parang gano'n, di ba? You were employed today and bukas, manganganak ka na. You can still avail that. From the moment na na-employ ka.
I see.
Regardless of bukas ka na manganak or but yung yung importante is kung empleyado ka and during that time nanganak ka or pagka next day nanganak ka, then that any women can avail that benefit.
What if po, di ba may times na may kailangan maging regular employee ka muna to avail some of the benefits of the company? Ganon din po ba yun? Kailangan maging regular employee ka muna?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Kasi hindi mo naman, in the first place, hindi mo naman kasalanan yan eh. Kasi it's any women employed eh.
Okay, yeah.
So regardless of probationary pa or hindi, basta any women employed, you can still avail this expanded maternity leave benefit.
Okay.
Granted under the law.
So, can an unmarried female employee avail this? Or basta may partner kayo, pwede naman?
Yes, of course. It can be availed by any female. Kasi babae lang po pwedeng mag-avail ng maternity leave eh. Any female, maski it doesn't require na may partner ka, na may asawa ka, for as long na buntis ka, manganganak ka, you can avail this benefit kasi this is for everyone na manganganak.
I see. So talagang suportado ng government yung mga manganganak. I see. Okay. So will a female employee po ba who give live childbirth receive the same maternity leave benefits regardless of the mode of the delivery?
Yes. Live child kasi kung intrauterine child or yung before the 28th week of gestation, 60 days lang yan. But kung live child siya, then 100 regardless of any types of delivery. Yun yung binago ng law eh. From 72 prior to this, meron tayong 60 days, 72 days, kung 72 days cesarean section. But now ginawa na nilang 105 days regardless of the types of delivery.
What if po pag nagpa-abort? Pwede pa rin ba?
Depende. Kasi kung yung pagpapa-abort was to save the life of the mother, yung unintentional, then the mother can avail this benefit. But kung intentional siya,
okay,
then kasi yung wordings under the law, a female who experienced miscarriage, yung nahulugan, and those who delivered stillbirth, but kung sinadya talaga, then I don't think that person can avail that kasi sinadya.
I see. Okay po. What is the allocation naman po of the maternity leave?
Yung allocation niya, kasi di ba 105 days? That 105 days, pwede niyang mabigay yung for example, in a maximum of 7 days, pwede niyang mabigay sa ibang tao. But yung tao mismo must be yung tatay or yung kaanak niya until the 4th degree of 4th degree siya na kaanak.
Okay.
So pwede niyang mabigay a maximum of 7 days sa 105 days na yung asawa niya o yung father ng child niya, pwede niyang magamit yung 7 days, babayaran siya, basta there's a parang nagsabi yung nanay na ibibigay ko sa yung 7 days. Parang ganon. And that person can avail that 7 day para in taking care of the child.
What if hindi siya family member? For example, talagang isolated na siya from the family or wala na connection. What if lang siya like a friend or a really, sometimes 'di ba parang friends lang yung what we have.
Oo. That's hindi siya pwede kasi under the law, the mother can allocate said maternity leave to an alternate caregiver who is either a relative to the 4th degree of consanguinity or a current partner. So kung ganun din naman na hindi siya kaanak, then that person cannot give yung allocation niya sa caregiver.
Okay. Noted po. Who is a relative within 4th degree of consanguinity?
This is how we were taught in determining the degree. Parallel, may parallel yan eh. For example, ako, yung tatay ko, that is the 1st degree. Or yung anak ko, that is 1st degree.
Okay.
Then, after that, yung once na it will move up again, 1 degree from my father, who is my 1st degree, to my grandfather, that is 2 degrees.
I see.
Or pwede din na from my father, pataas, from my father, to pababa, sa kapatid ko, that is 2 degrees.
Okay.
Parang ganun siya. And so on and so forth na yan yung linya. So kung 4th degree, kung titingnan mo, ako, tatay ko, lolo ko, kapatid na, lolo ko, ako, tatay ko, tito ko, kasi magkapatid niya, 1, 2, 3, tito ko would be the 3rd degree, and yung first cousin ko will be the 4th degree. Parang ganun siya.
Kahit ganun siya, kahit pinsan. I see. So what are the examples po of the proof of the relationship since kailangan nga din po relative ang relation?
One, yung ginagamit usually was a birth certificate, PSA, or pwede kayong makakuha na sa local civil registrar. Pwede din marriage certificate kung kasal na kayo. Pwede din barangay certificate na nagsasabi na pamilya mo siya at kapatid mo siya, parang ganon. Or other documents that would really show your relationship with that person. For example, maski aside from that, meron ding school records, for example, na nagsasabi na magkapatid kayo to show na that person is within the 4th degree of consanguinity. Then it can be considered.
As long as they're legitimate documents. Okay. So what if you know, yung mga certificates kayo na forge ganyan, ano magiging penalty nito?
Kung forgery yung ginamit, kasi yung papakita mo to sa, para if ever mag-avail ka ng benefit, for example sa SSS, papakita mo to, tapos you were proven na hindi pala tama. For example, you can either pwede kang makasuhan ng falsification. Falsification of public documents, kasi those are public documents, especially if it is notarized and you falsify the signature, then pwede kang kasuhan ng falsification or any criminal case that would result to that. Pwede din kasuhan ka ng SSS. Ang ganun. Or kung sino, pwede ka rin kasuhan ng amo mo kasi pinakitaan mo siya ng dokumento na hindi pala totoo. Parang ganun.
Yung makakasuhan lang po ba yung nag-file or pati yung partner yung allocation nito?
If it is proven na yung binigyan niya ng 7 days is part or kasabwat sa pamimeke, then that person can be considered as accomplice or an accessory to the crime. Parang ganon. Or pwede ding co-accused. Parang ganon. Pwede silang makasuhan for as long as they're part of that kind of submitting the falsified documents.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that, attorney. We're gonna move on to our icebreaker in a bit. Tsaka sa TribuneNow natin, magbabalik ang Legal Diaries.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
Bong, yung naumpisahan ko, tapusin mo. Mga bagong highway, tulay, tren, dapat ma-enjoy na kaagad ng mga tao yan. Kailangan lahat bakunado at laging may ayuda pag kailangan. Huwag dapat makabalik ang mga drug lords para ligtas ang pamilya. Yung ginawa mong malasakit centers, maganda yan. Padamihin mo pa. Magkasama tayo. Tayo ang nagsimula. Tuloy-tuloy lang, Bong.
Non-stop showbiz update ba ang hanap nyo? Sagot na yan ang aming Tribune Extra. Balitang entertainment at lifestyle, mapa-local man o international, meron kami niyan. Manood at makichika na kasama si Kim Sancha, Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 5 ng hapon sa Tribune News on Q at separate premiere nito ng alas 7:30 ng gabi. Mapapanood sa Daily Tribune Facebook page at TribuneNow on YouTube. Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
We're back once again, mga Katribu, on Legal Diaries with Attorney Taleon as we were talking about the technicalities of the Expanded Maternity Leave. Now let's move on to our icebreaker. Attorney and mga Katribu, we found out something about maternity leaves, no, para sa ating TribuneNow segment. Did you know that studies show that adequate maternity leave can lead to lower infant mortality rates, health benefits of the mother, higher female labor force participation, and increased breastfeeding rates? Ayan. So, talagang nakakatuwa po na talaga meron tayong law na ganito, no, attorney. Sobrang laking, sobrang laking benefit, not just for the mother, but also for the child, you said. Diba?
And the added days, I mean, is precious enough. Kasi you are in the developing stage of a child pa eh.
Yeah, tsaka yung honeymoon phase mo with your baby, diba? Like, nothing beats that. Diba? Ayan, attorney, thank you so much for joining us today.
No problema.
Do you have any final messages po sa ating mga viewers?
I'd like to greet na lang everyone a happy Friday. And enjoy the weekend, guys.
Yan, deserve natin yan, attorney. Thank you once again po. Ang dami ko natutunan as a woman myself. It's a bit embarrassing na hindi ko alam itong mga bagay na to, no? Especially when it comes to yung allocation nga. Like what if, example, diba? Naiwan ako ng partner ko, diba? It's hard. So, ayun, attorney, thank you for gracing us today.
Thank you.
And we hope to have you again if, you know, may chance po ulit. Ayan mga katribu, munting paalala, 43 days na lang Pasko na. Sobrang bilis na lang yan mga katribu. Kaya watch Kalingang Katribu Legal Diaries live every Friday at 3:30 p.m. on Daily Tribune's official Facebook page and TribuneNow on YouTube for the replay of the episodes. Muli ako si Venice Bautista. See you next week. Magandang hapon.
Thank you.